Lou, thanks for joining us tonight.
Great to be with you.
So China's entry into the WTO in 2001 began hurting America almost immediately, and of course 17 years later it's clear the damage that it has done, and yet there remains bipartisan support for it. Why?
Because both parties are supported by the same groups, Wall Street, the Business Roundtable, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Koch brothers, driving U.S. multinational interest throughout. We've seen it going back to really President Clinton, in which he talked about the China entering the world of nations and playing by the same rules as did George Bush, as did President Obama, and it's been nothing more than a pipe dream, and the reality has been trillions of dollars lost in economic growth for this country, millions of middle-class jobs lost, as you know.
So what does that mean? If you see China cheating under the terms of its membership, and you decide to do nothing about it, have you convinced yourself you're somehow helping America by allowing China to cheat?
I think, again, they were convincing themselves with a considerable amount of grease and assistance from, again, K Street, the lobbyists, the vested establishment interest who are multinationals in focus and who benefit immensely from that focus. So the reality becomes that this is all about who has bought whom. And both parties have been owned by the establishment for all this time. What happens with President Trump? The fact is he is the only candidate with the guts, the courage, the principle, and the understanding of both business and economics, as well as national security, to have attacked the establishment and the consequences of their horrible policies that they followed in both trade and national security over the past 3 decades.
So the bipartisan response to Trump's mentioning how we're getting hurt by China by these trade agreements was to say, even among liberals, you can't tamper with the precepts of free trade. You're going to start a trade war. Free trade works. People who never supported free trade before suddenly were out there carrying the banner for free trade. What did you make of that as a longtime conservative?
The absurdity of it is liberals don't understand economics to begin with, or they wouldn't be liberals. Secondly, the idea that this president is trying to reverse the consequences of all of those misbegotten concepts, values, and ideas over the course of 3 decades, he is really the only one who's had the guts to stand up over the course of those 3 decades. Imagine this, Tucker, and say, we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to focus on the middle class. We're going to focus on traditional American values and assert U.S. leadership once again, at least over the free world, if not our own future. And this president is going a long ways toward asserting that control over our future. He's the only one talking about the future.
So really quick, and I don't want to oversimplify, but even as the middle class has withered and died, no longer the majority in this country, the top echelons have gotten richer than any group has ever been in human history. Do you think that phenomenon is tied directly to China trade?
I think that it is certainly implicated. We've lost millions of jobs. The estimates range anywhere from 3 to 4 million jobs to outsourcing alone. Then you have those jobs ripped out of this economy because of labor arbitrage. That is, cheaper labor producing goods in China are going to have a competitive advantage over U.S. middle-class wages and workers. And the result is onerous. It's why we've seen our middle class shrink rather than prosper.
Right. Meanwhile, the finance economy has bloomed, of course. Lou Dobbs, thank you. That was a great description of a sad phenomenon. I appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Tucker. Thank you.
Thank you.